On today's episode, we're putting two iconic watches up against each other in a quartz watch battle. The Casio F91W and the Timex Weekender. Now time's a ticking, so let's get stuck in. Hey everyone, Matt Johnson here. I'm your host of my YouTube channel, Beer and Watches, where I bring you the very best in watch news, watch reviews, and craft beer brews every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, here's a cheers to each and every single one of you for making it halfway through the week. The beer that I'm drinking today is all the way from France. This is the Monts beer, and it's an 8.5% strong beer that comes in a 750 milliliter bottle. Let's give it a quick try. That's really good, guys. It's certainly a strong beer. It's nice, easy drinking, and refreshing. So if you want to check these beers out, the Monts beer from France, I'll put a link in the description below this video. Today, I'm also wearing on my wrist my Casio G-Shock, and in today's episode, we're going to be putting the Casio F91W and the Timex Weekender in a battle against each other to see which one I think is the best out of these two budget watches. Bearing in mind that you can buy either one for under 40 Canadian dollars, which I have absolutely no idea at the current exchange rate. Is probably about 30 bucks US, possibly about 25 pounds. These two watches represent great build quality and great affordability. But which one is the best? Well, that's up for a matter of opinion, but I'm going to give you my opinion today. Let's swing this camera around and take a look at the Casio versus Timex. Ding ding. Okay everyone, so let's get into this battle of two truly iconic watches. The Casio F91W, first released in the 80s, and the Timex Weekender, an American classic. Well, first of all, you can see it's like comparing apples to oranges. One is a square case with a resin case and band, and one is a circular metal case with a NATO strap. First of all, let's take a look at the Timex Weekender. I love the fact that both these watches come on these really cool little plastic display stands. Here is the Timex Weekender. Let's give you some specs on this one. First of all, it's a mineral crystal. It's got a tang buckle on the back here, which is not signed. It's a 38 millimeter case with a 20 millimeter bandwidth and a 10 millimeter on the case thickness. It comes with a nylon NATO strap. Now, the Weekenders are available in multiple strap options. You can also get them larger, I believe at 40 millimeters, but this 38 millimeter is nice, wears nicely on the wrist, and it's also a great unisex watch. I also love the fact that if you take the strap off this, you can replace it, as it's a 20 millimeter strap, so it's very, very common. You can replace it with a multitude of other straps, whatever color you like. Different NATO straps, leather straps, completely up to you. Different wearing options for different styles, whether you want to dress it up or dress it down, and that's something you certainly can't do with the Casio watch, so that is a big plus for the Timex. Now, it's got a quartz movement inside. It comes with a 30 meter water resistance, which is 100 feet or 3 ATMs. The case is brass with a silver kind of polished finish overlaid on the brass. As you can see on the face there, it's got both a 12-hour dial and a 24-hour military dial. It's got a very basic HMS dial, hour, minute, and second hands. The second hand is in a very, very bright red there. It's got the Timex logo below the 12 o'clock position, and then it says here Indiglow just above the 6 o'clock position, which we'll get to in a moment. This, as I say, is a no-nonsense, easy-to-read dial with a easy-to-read font on there. You can definitely tell the time on this at a glance. It's also got downward lugs, which means that it wears very, very well on smaller wrists and just as well as it does on larger wrists. The battery in this is a CR2016, and what I love about Timex is they make that very, very easy, because after all, when you have to replace the battery, you're going to want to know which battery to buy. Right there on the back, they tell you just there that it's a CR2016 cell battery. Now, changing the batteries in these couldn't be simpler. There's a little tab just here. You pop a knife or something on there and pop the case back off. The battery is large, it's inside. You pop it out, pop a new one in. The tricky part with the Timex watches is they have a pressure fitted case back, so they're a little more difficult to get back on. Now, if you're a professional watch repair expert, then you would have a case back pressure fitter that would fit it back on very easily. But if you don't have that, the best way I've found to do it is lay a tea towel out, put this face down on top of the tea towel, and then get the butt of a hammer and put it against there and apply pressure, and that should pop the case back on. But that is not the easiest thing to do on these kind of case backs, so that is kind of a minus on the Timex watch. Now, also one other downside for the Timex is the movement. The ticking of the movement is quite loud. Now, personally, I don't find it a problem. You're really only going to notice it in your bedroom at night or in a very, very quiet room, and then you'll hear it ticking. Some have compared it to a wall clock ticking. I don't think it's that loud. If you put this on your bedside table and you can hear it, you can just throw a t-shirt or something over it and it will muffle the noise completely. This one I purchased on Amazon. It came in at $39 Canadian. I'll put a link in the description below where you can purchase these on Amazon.com. This watch needs no introduction, especially if you are a child of the 70s and 80s. The Casio F91W is the quintessential digital quartz watch. Let's run through a couple of the specs here. It's got a mineral crystal face. It comes in at 33mm case diameter, 8mm case thickness, so it wears very, very thin on the wrist, and an 18mm band at the watch which tapers down at the time buckle. Mentioning the time buckle, it has here a stamped stainless steel PVD coated time buckle. The strap on this and the case are a plastic resin. Now, you can change straps on this because just here it does have drilled out lugs, which means you can get a strap changing tool in there and pop the strap off. But let's be honest, what are you going to change this strap for? Unlike the Weekender that you could replace this with a leather or a black strap or something like that and dress it up or dress it down, it's very, very difficult to dress up or dress down this Casio F91W in black resin. I mean, after all, whatever strap you put on there, it's pretty much still going to look like a cheap Casio F91W. I'm not taking away from the watch, I'm just saying that you probably won't want to replace the strap on this to dress it up for evening wear, something you can kind of do with the Timex. So that is a minus on the Casio for me. This has a few different functions, whereas the Timex is just a hour, minute and second hand function there. This has a whole bunch of functions going on for it. First of all, it's got a day and date complication in there. If we press the button here, we've also got an alarm setting. We've got a stopwatch as well, which is very, very easy to use. As well as all that, we've also got a light. Now, that light is a little difficult to see. The Casio light is not the best unless you get into the later series, kind of like my G-Shock here, which has a full backlight display. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention about the Indiglo light. Shame on me. This is by far the best light lume in the business. You take the crown here, you push down on it, and it lights up. Now, I've got very, very bright studio lights here, but even under very, very bright studio lights, you can see just how bright that is and how clear that is to read in the dark. So in my opinion, this light far exceeds the Casio. The Timex wins hands down on that one. You can press this button on the right here, function, to change its 24-hour clock. That's pretty much all the functions on the Casio. Now, both the Casio and the Timex both come with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty, and just like the Timex, the Casio comes with 3 ATMs, 30 meters or 100 feet of water resistance. I paid just under $19 on Amazon, and that's Canadian dollars for this watch. So as you can see, you could get 2 of these for the price of one Timex. Believe it or not, there are fake Casio F91Ws, which makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, why would you go to the trouble of producing a fake Casio watch worth $19? But apparently they do exist. And the way to know if you've got a genuine one is to press this button on the bottom right and hold it for about 5 or 6 seconds. And what happens is the word Casio pops up on the screen. Now, you may own a Casio and maybe you've never actually seen that. Maybe you didn't know about that. So there you go. My channel is educational and fun at the same time. Like the Timex, this has a CR20163 volt battery, and on the back of this they don't actually explain what battery you need, which is a bit of a shame, as they do on the Timex. You need a very small screwdriver to unscrew those screws to get the stainless steel back off there to replace the battery. In many ways, to put this back on will be a lot easier than replacing the pressure fitted Timex back. However, getting it off, unless you have that little screwdriver, is gonna be a little more difficult. The stopwatch on here is accurate to 1/100th of a second second. Both this and the Timex have an accuracy of like plus or minus 30 seconds a month, which is really, really incredible. So there you go, guys. That's the Casio F91W against the Timex Weekender. I personally prefer the Weekender, but they are both great watches and both represent great value for money. And as a matter of fact, this one comes in at half the price of this one. So you could in fact buy two Casios for the price of one Timex. If you want to start a watch collection, then officially with two Casios, you would be a watch collector. That's it for this episode. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Please do leave me a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comments section below. I love to hear from you all. Which do you prefer, the Casio or the Timex? I'm curious. We'll see you again on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, click on this video right here because that's a good one, and click on the Beer and Watches logo right there to subscribe. Take care. I'm Matt Johnson and we'll see you Friday. Bye for now.